This is the first WOLED without a white subpixel with the RGB-Stripe pixel layout, and this is the ASUS ROG Swift OLED PG27 UCWM. Now, it is using a 27-inch UHD resolution panel from LG Display, and it has so many features here, and I think that it will be an exciting gaming monitor for many of you out there who are also particular about productivity use. The reason is because with the normal WRGB subpixel structure or RGWB, you can sometimes get into issues with text fringing and also fringing along high contrast edges. The RGB Stripe OLED solves this problem. That's not the only issue that an RGB subpixel structure can solve, because with the white subpixel, even though you can boost the peak brightness to, let's say, 1500 nits for a primary RGB tandem OLED panel, which this one still is, but because you remove the white subpixel, it has 27% higher color volume, even though the total peak brightness has dropped down to 1000 nits. And the monitor supports dual mode in the sense that the native refresh rate is 240 Hz, but you can bump it up to 480 Hz by lowering the resolution to 1080p. Other features on this PG27 UCWM are its full bandwidth 80 gigabits per second HDMI 2.1a port, USB R20, and also it has two HDMI 2.1 ports with full 48 gigabits per second bandwidth, as well as a USB-C port with 90 watt power delivery. And if you want to come around the back of this monitor, hopefully you can see the really tasteful design that ASUS has implemented on this monitor. It's a transparent back. It gives you some sort of inkling into the component that make up this monitor. And the connection ports are obviously at the bottom of the monitor. You may notice that the front of this panel has a matte or semi-glossy finish. But I've been informed by ASUS that when this monitor goes into mass production and goes on sale in the second half of 2026, it will have a true black glossy panel in the front, which gives you that higher perceived contrast in a brighter viewing environment. In addition, it will also support Dolby Vision as well. But this is not the only RGB Stripe OLED monitor that ASUS has launched onto the market, because if you follow me across here, this here is a 34-inch QD-OLED monitor, also using RGB subpixel layout vertically. Samsung Display, the panel manufacturer, calls it V-Stripe, but basically it is aligned red, green, and blue. Previous QD-OLED monitor has used triangular subpixel layout, and that can cause text fringing and also some color fringing along high contrast edges. But this hopefully will solve the problem by rearranging the subpixels in vertical stripe configuration. Now, the model number of this is the ROG Swift PG34WCDN, and it will have the 5th generation latest QD-OLED panel from Samsung Display, which, in addition to the RGB Stripe subpixel layout, will also have this black shield film, which improves the perceived blacks in a brighter environment, so the ambient contrast will increase, and there's an absence of magenta tinting, which has plagued previous generations of QD-OLED panels before. In addition, Samsung Display has also increased the panel hardness of this OLED screen. It has increased the scratch resistance by 2.5 times, and therefore it has gone from 2H to 3H, and so it shouldn't manifest micro abrasions when you unbox it, peeling off the styrofoam from the front of the screen. Other features on this monitor include 360 Hz refresh rate, which is again the highest that this 34-inch ultra-wide 21:9 aspect ratio monitor is capable of, and it has a curvature of 1800R, and it is also very well spec'd in terms of connectivity. It has the full bandwidth USB R20 DisplayPort 2.1a, which gives you 80 gigabits per second of DisplayPort bandwidth, which means that you don't need to use DSC. And there are two HDMI 2.1 ports as well as a USB-C port with 90 watt power delivery. I need to talk about this ROG Swift OLED PG32 UCDM Gen 3. So this is a 32-inch UHD resolution model with 240Hz refresh rate. But the main upgrade would be the black shield film. Even though it is still using the QD-OLED triangular subpixel structure, or what they call the Q-Stripe layout, it has improved perceived ambient contrast, and it also has the better scratch resistance as well. And it has the full bandwidth of DisplayPort 2.1a with 80 gigabits per second of bandwidth. Now, you can maybe work out from this side-by-side comparison in the presence of ambient light that this PG32 UCDM Gen 3 with the black shield film can maintain its blacks and also its ambient contrast better with a lack of magenta tinting compared to the older QD-OLED panels. Now, these three OLED monitors from ASUS are clearly top-tier gaming monitors, but other companies have also launched their own high-end OLED gaming monitors, and you can watch our coverage video by clicking here.